guys about what we saw in Game 3, and they talked about, Vishu talked about in there, getting caught out, and that is something that Team Coast did very well in this game.
Yeah, Coast has always specialized in that, mostly because Shifter has historically been an assassin plus Zed player, or Ziggs player. That's the way I've always classified him. He was known for Zed and Ahri early in his career, and he had always played Ziggs, even when nobody really played him. He's generally like the roaming playmaker of their team. I feel like even though he, to me, is their best player, arguably their best player, his job on the team, or what he designates himself to do, is to get the other lanes going. He tries to get Zion going, he'll roam top to get Zion going, he'll go bottom to get Wiz Fusion going, and he'll try his best not to like farm Wraiths or get some extra CS here and there, because like that's just his style.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Coast style ends up being really Zion Spartan focused. You saw them kind of in this game where, even in Game 1 and Game 2 actually both, where Game 1 he's running around, split pushing a Shyvana, eventually he makes headway, then Coast starts to unlock the map. Here they're like kind of treading water, getting small advantages, but then he finally sort of unlocks his Nasus, and he's like, alright, I'm going to go kill turrets, and then you guys have fun because Zion Spartan's going to kill everyone 1v2, and then Coast kind of wakes up.
Gotta imagine how frustrating it must be for Yuzuki. He was up 80 CS at one point. He was doing incredibly well in that lane, and there is just nothing he could do versus that Nasus.
Yeah, honestly, Yuzuki's had a great tournament so far. I don't think he's played bad in any of these games. The first game he played Nasus, he did really well. He split the lane even, which is a win, honestly, to split lanes even. And it was in the same matchup, so he just played the reverse matchup now. He was 80 CS ahead in a matchup that he played against Zion previously. He was proxying, he was trying to roam across the map, but honestly, in his situation, he's like, mid's losing and bottom's losing. Like, they just randomly dove between two turrets and died and like lost their tower. I can't do anything. Like, there's no way he could possibly have carried that game. So if I was him, I'd be incredibly frustrated at like just the fact that he can do nothing with his lead.
Yeah, exactly, and you mentioned all the pressure he created, him pulling Ahri up to the top lane a couple of times, and it was a bunch of like really small misplays that screwed it up, because we saw a level 6 Wukong gank, Karma Shield fully snuck in from the brush, got the ult on a Daydreamin', and then Bobby Handkill, instead of following up with a Zap or following up with Flame Chompers with no counter pressure available, like Olaf wasn't there, Saber's not going to 1v1 him, he's like, I'm going to shoot an ult full health and then go this way. And puts no pressure onto the gank and doesn't snowball the lane or anything. So even though the map is like really lopsided and everyone's down there to help these guys out, none of the plays end up sticking, which is why we saw like a 14-1 kill score for Coast. The opportunities were there, they just didn't follow through.
Yeah, to me it was really the little things, and I think that is stress coming out of the Walking Zed, because they had a comp with that Wukong and then the knockup. Maybe Katarina could jump in there, but Katarina never got going, and I think Kez on Wukong especially, he had a very rough game.
Yeah, and I like the comp so much from Walking Zed. I think it really, really does work, because you have the Wukong engage, Katarina helps that happen. It's like, Karma helps that happen. It's like the better version of last game's comp, where like they can go in and then there's follow-up. There's a whole bunch of damage from Katarina. Jinx has the execute, and I know we were talking during the game, and you said you didn't really like double reset because who's going to get it going, and I kind of felt that like just the Jinx ult is enough to sort of overcome that and get Katarina rolling, but the problem that I saw was that none of the engages actually happened. These guys got behind early on, and Kez just couldn't find the initiations more than once.
Yeah, honestly, if Bobby Handkill didn't fall so far behind, I think you're right that double reset is fine in that situation because of like the upfront damage that Jinx brings and just how much poke she brings. I just didn't think that Bobby was very comfortable. He didn't seem comfortable on Jinx. He missed pretty much every ulti, and sometimes he would ulti people like 80% HP. It seems like he doesn't play that champion very much, and he, when presented with the opportunity to use like other abilities, he would just pick the most wrong one.
A lot of stress coming out. We'll see if they get their nerves under control on the side of the Walking Zed for the play-by-play of game.